Yeah.
Okay, they're chimpanzees.
Ladies and gentlemen, did somebody get part of the show as soon as K-Rob does a station identification? Followed by the post-show show. But in the meantime, this is the pre-show portion of the show, which is preceded by the show, which is going to later be... Did somebody get K-Rob stoned before the show?
San Francisco.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce you to Mr. Hal Robbins.
If you accounted wisdom when you are angry to be silent and not to show it, I do not count that wisdom, but as folly. O Satan, my youngest born, art thou not prince of the starry hosts and of the wheels of heaven to turn the mills day and night? Art thou not Newton's Pantocrator weaving the woof of Locke? To mortals thy mills seem everything, and the harrow of Shaddai a scheme of human conduct, invisible and incomprehensible. Get to thy labors at the mills and leave me to my wrath. Satan was going to reply, but Los rolled his loud thunders. Anger me not, thou canst not drive the harrow in pity's paths. Thy work is eternal death with mills and ovens and cauldrons. Trouble me no more, thou canst not have eternal life. So Los spake, Satan trembling obeyed, weeping along the way. Mark well my words, for they are of your eternal salvation. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we are here at our 17th episode of the Ask Dr. Hal show. That 17th prime number, where we are going to put our pudding to proof, as it is, of the Ask Dr. Hal show.
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, our first question of the evening is as follows. I derive pleasure while intentionally cutting up earthworms into pieces.
A fisherman, eh?
Does this technically qualify as bestiality?
Ladies and gentlemen, I am shocked. Shocked indeed. Shocked and dismayed that this question should ever cross my desk. But in addition to being a possible sadist and a possible pervert, you might also be a possible scientist, because scientists are known in their gleaming, glittering laboratories to do things like cutting up worms all the time. Thank you for your question.
God damn it.
Indeed. Superman. What was what?
What was the, what was that, what would you say about, and his relationship with, Lois Lane? I remember you were talking about Superman, about how Superman...
But, yes, Lois Lane, yeah. Lois Lane, perky girl reporter, recently laid off. What? As bestiality. Well, if this relationship were ever carried forward into the sexual arena, which would be very bad for poor Lois Lane, it would indeed be bestiality, since Superman is an alien and still threatens this planet. He simply resembles a human, but he comes from somewhere else. He's a different clade. His superficial resemblance to a human comes from a force we call convergent evolution. But it would be a case of matching the man of steel and woman of Kleenex, and it wouldn't work very well.
Well, what would happen if they had sex?
Well, maybe Superman, being super in every obnoxious way, also intellectually, which people forget, could devise a scientific solution to the problem of coitus between Kryptonian and Earth woman. If this were the case, poor Lois's problems would still not be over. Rather, they would be just beginning as thousands and thousands of tiny super sperm would be unleashed, capable of traveling at the speed of light, leaving behind them glowing telltale trails of purplish Cherenkov radiation as they rushed around the city of Metropolis, penetrating every egg of every free human female in a massive alien Kryptonian gang rape. Because remember, the human egg is engineered for one human sperm to penetrate and all the rest to fall by the wayside as nature intended. But oh no, not these Kryptonians. They would pile drive into these eggs and there would be nothing left but a blob of glop. Poor Lois would suffer peritonitis from a perforated abdomen and the associated injuries thereof, if she wasn't blasted into bits at the moment of the super orgasm itself, when Superman would have to relinquish control if he indeed got into it. So the entire thing is incredibly distasteful, and naturally, you brought it up, chicken.
That's what I
See,
do.
Superman, since you brought him up, is a tragic figure who always has to pull his punches, who can never let it go. He could destroy the Earth, but he always has to pack it in, and the only reason he can is that his ability to restrain himself is also super. The only way he can ever kick out the jams is go on one of his missions to outer space, where he goes out and whacks planets and stars around until he feels he can come back.
Sorry.
Don't get carried away so early.
That's kind of good. That was actually kind of good. A little scary.
Okay, how toxic
How toxic?
are non-toxic Sharpie markers?
Oh, wait, that's my question.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have hillbillies up there. Roof-dwelling hillbillies. Chicken rents out that tiny trailer.
What?
This question must emanate from their rustic sensibilities.
How toxic?
Those darned markers used to be very toxic. They used to contain formaldehyde, and that would keep them on anything, including human skin. If you like to draw on folks, like some of us do, I do. But now the namby-pambies and the goo-goos have taken all the carcinogens and toxins out of the magic markers. They are no longer toxic. However, they no longer stay on what you mark them on unless that substance is naturally absorbent. So, your little child can huff those magic markers as much as he likes, but they're not magic and nothing will happen because they took the oomph and the pizzazz out of them years ago when nobody was looking.
Well, that's funny how, Lucky's been sniffing the markers, and our family is
He can sniff them.
I don't know, his daddy's been smelling those,
Well,
devil's panties again, and,
His daddy likes to smell other things, eh?
like comes back pan.
I said Satan was in trouble when I started this show.
Give me that Sharpie.
Thanks for that K-Rob moment.
Oh, you're providing your own K-Rob moment. Well, you're not smuggling markers. That's what, toluene, paint thinner?
I think it's mineral spirits.
That stuff is still not non-toxic.
non-toxic?
That will etch its way. Anything containing acetone will kill you very quickly and horribly. So,
Oh my God.
I wouldn't do it if I were you, but of course it's a free country and...
If an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and possession is 9/10 of the law, if I get busted with an ounce of prevention, will I be charged with possession of 9/10 of a pound of cure?
Well, I'm not sure what the quality control would be like on your end, or whether the ounce that you have would be cured. But the cure will certainly exist one way or the other. But if you are of a harsh and right-wing, hard-edged nature, the cure will be outrageous and exaggerated punishment for your harmless hobby. But if you are of a left-wing, liberal, sunshine and rainbows disposition, the cure will be going down that famed path where the road of excess leads to the palace of wisdom.